Good morning, everyone, here from the Pacific Northwest. This is Nancy Rebecca with Intuitive Mind. So I am live on Facebook as well as YouTube, which is Intuitive Mind with Nancy Rebecca. So lovely to see you all this morning. I'm going to be just talking just a little bit about good and bad spirit guides among us. And I think it's a really important topic for us to talk about. Let's just kind of soften up the edges around these types of conversations. So good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm feeling a real kind of holy sacredness infusing today, infusing the whole world, a holy sacredness. So I'd like to we're going to definitely include that in the talk among us and our talk this morning. Oh my goodness. So I'll just tell you, as I was writing about this topic, good and bad spirits among us, spirit guides. I want to talk about that, spirit guides. That's the specific topic today. See, I can't even talk. So as I was writing the last couple of days, writing about this material and kind of drawing from my 28 years of experience of working with people who work at all levels, from total skeptics that don't believe in any of this at all, people who don't believe that God exists, all the way to people who are devoted and dedicated and have a daily practice of worship and talking to God, the angels, their guides, and things like that. So I'm going to be drawing from that information, and we're just going to be touching on this today because we happen to be in the month of October. I love the fall season. And it's not just the leaves turning colors and hitting the ground and just adding all this color and the nice, cool Christmas. It's not just that. There's something that happens every year around this time where it's almost kind of this reunion of the spirit world and the human world coming together, this beautiful reunion. So it's a perfect time to be talking about good and bad spirit guides among us. So good morning, Kathleen Dowd. Good morning, good morning. Hi, Donna Boos. Hi, Dawn. Hello, Lucia, Nancy, Max, Virginia. And yeah, I'm excited that you all are on. So, okay, back to writing the material. So I'm writing the material, and I could just feel like the energy in the room just started shifting where it just didn't feel so great. So I really went to tune in to see why am I experiencing these kind of subtle shifts of kind of a heaviness, and became acutely aware that there are spirits out there in the spirit world that don't want me to share this information with you. They don't want you to have this knowledge. They want you to remain in these kind of naive places of thinking, the spirit world is out there. I'm here. I've got my life to live. I've got to get to work. I've got to shop for Christmas, and all of those things. And so as long as you remain naive, then the spirit world, especially those that like to kind of be little tricksters and things like that, kind of have free reign with how they behave on the earth. So that's the truth as far as I know it. But I've been educating people about working with how to identify healthy guides versus unhealthy guides. And I have a really easy way that I'm going to share with you today, especially when we get to the meditation at the end. So anyway, so what did I do? I just kind of raised the vibe again. That's the first thing you want to do, is you want to just raise the vibe, because they can't really kind of move into the energy when the vibe is really kind of solid and high and the frequency's high. And, there's a lot of joy and there's holiness and sacredness. Can't really permeate that because their vibration cannot go to those higher frequencies. So I'll just say that. So then this morning, right away, I get up and I want to print my notes that I've been making. Well, it said 2 or 3 times, printers offline. I thought, I'm not going to be able to print my notes. And then I went to go print my notes, and then there was paper not in the printer. And then I came to my computer and it wouldn't open up. So those are like little signs that are saying, yeah, we're going to mess with you so you can't give this talk. But fortunately, I'm persistent. I'm persistent. So, Dawn, you're welcome about talking about this aspect of the world. We have to. We just have to. So, I've been wanting to write about good and bad spirit guides for a while, but I also like to speak from a perspective. I'm a nurse, I'm a clairvoyant. I tend to lean more towards optimism in everything that I do. And so when I'm sharing things like this, it's like, ooh, I'm probably going to someone's going to feel uncomfortable, or someone's going to feel afraid, or someone. So what my intention is that you feel empowered during this talk, that you're going to feel empowered. Because here we are going in October. Of course, we've got, Halloween that's coming up, which, is celebrated, in many places in the world. And even if it's not celebrated, like we do here with trick or treating, and it's trick or treat. So the spirit world likes to play a lot of tricks during that time. The veil is particularly thin on October 31st, and it doesn't matter where you are in the world. There's a lot of cultures that take advantage of that time to put some extra protection around the house, raise the frequency of the house, maybe, do salt or do sage, to do really an energetic house cleaning. So, in the spring, we do a real spring cleaning in the house. Well, here in the fall, there's this time once a year where you can do a real great energetic cleansing around your house. You just clear out old energies that might attract some imbalances. So, and then we have November 1st, which is, I think in the Catholic religion, is All Saints Day. But if we move beyond religion, there's a lot of cultures. There's like this 3 to 5 day period of time where the veil is particularly thin. And the benefit to you, see, here's my little optimism boost. The benefit to you is that when you go into meditation during that time, your capacity to access your ancestors, your spirit guides, angels, is much higher. It's I wouldn't say much higher because you always have access to them, but let's say a meaningful experience. You have a higher opportunity to have a meaningful experience. So, yeah. So there's many stories told, written about, there's videos about spirit guides and people's relationship to them. Unhealthy relationships with spirit guides is, as I said, not usually brought up in the conversation because of the discomfort. It can cause you to feel like you need to be cautious and fearful. And in the old kind of religions over the past 1,000, 2,000 years, it's like if you go to church, then you are under the protection of the church. But if you don't go to church, then you're no longer under the protection of the church. So we have those aspects of things that we've heard, or often I would have clients that they'd call, and I have some clients who kind of sneak in the back door, or, they're afraid someone from their church is going to see them coming to see me, but they were still having experiences that they couldn't explain, that they wanted to talk to me about, but they were taught to be fearful. So there may be some of you on this call that are taught to be fearful of meditation, yoga, Tai Chi, exploring kind of higher, I wouldn't say higher aspects, but other aspects like intuitive psychic development. A lot of people have a lot of fear because they've been taught, or somewhere in a past life, or maybe amongst your ancestors, where you felt like, I better not open that door, because if I open that door, I'm not going to be able to close it again. And I could open these portals to these other worlds and things like that. And I'm not going to tell you that that's a lie. And I'm not going to tell you that that's not the truth, because there are aspects of it that are the truth. So let's kind of just visit the ancient times. Let's just go back I mean, don't literally go back energetically, because I know you can do that. Stay here in the present moment. It is October 13th, 2022, but allow yourself to kind of imagine, while you're grounded in the room that you're in, 5,000 years ago, or 10,000 years ago, or 20,000 years ago, where the ancient ones, your ancient ancestors, were really connected to the earth. They were connected to the spirit world. They were connected to nature. And on a regular basis, during equinoxes and solstices and different planetary uh, alignments that would either potentiate or take away from their ability to communicate with the divine and God or the goddesses or multiple gods, depending on the type of culture and religion it was. And they would, either, have celebratory meals and harvest, but they would bring in an extra protection around their own homes, around their own families. That was a high priority. I think that's what I want you to take away from today. That, just that doing your spiritual, that hygiene, I don't really like that word, but the spiritual cleansing around your home on a regular basis. That's what they used to do 5, 10, 20,000 years ago. They used to, hang up and make little wreaths and hang wreaths around. In the Catholic Church, people would put crosses around to have the protection of Jesus. In some cultures, I think in Hawaii, and if I'm wrong, I apologize, but I'm just giving an example of like salt, that salt has this kind of ionizing capacity. So you go all the way around your house with either that pink salt or sea salt. You could hold your hands on the bowl of the salt and bless it. With water, you can bless water, pray with water, put your hands on the water, bless it, and just kind of spray it around your house, around your windows and doors. So we used to do those things. And there are still in Asian cultures where they have that one time of year where they go around, the whole community comes together. And I think it's in Bali where they tell everyone, stay inside your house, keep the shades drawn, don't go outside at all for this period of 24 hours. And then they would have these priests and elders kind of come through the streets, cleansing all the not so good spirits out of the community. When there was a lot of chaos that would start to happen, or kind of bad luck things, the whole community would come together. It didn't matter who it was happening to. It was like, okay, if there's an opening here, I'm just going to call it a trickster, then the whole community would come together and help to clear them out. So here, now we're living in the year 2022, and the Industrial Revolution came through. Families started kind of splitting apart because people would travel to find the jobs. And then science, like, how did we get here in this place of, if science can't see it, then it doesn't exist? How did we get to that place? How did we flip that, where, thousands of years ago, the spirit world was predominant and you did activities to help keep a nice, healthy balance there. And now suddenly we're acting as if the spirit world doesn't exist, and it does. I remember once one of my guides shared with me this line, and I will hear this all the time. Nancy, your naiveness to the existence of multi-dimensions of the spirit world and spiritual beings, your naiveness is not serving you right now. So what my guides were saying, what my higher self was saying, was you need to open your eyes a bit more. You need to be more diligent about how you take care of things. So when I have to just share with you, because it's not funny, but I was like, are you kidding me? So for many of you who know me, if a word comes up, I want to really get the definition of the word. And I really felt this holy sacredness come in this morning. So I wanted to look up the definition of holy. All right, you guys ready for the definition of holy? means that you are dedicated to God. So the word holy means that you're dedicated to God. And I'm like, all right, that doesn't totally do it. That doesn't do it for me. I mean, I am devoted to my spiritual practice. I'm devoted to the divine. I'm devoted to God in my heart, but that doesn't do it. Holiness goes beyond that for me. So if you've got a different word for holiness, I would love it if you would put it in the comments section, because I almost feel like I need to write about this now after I saw that, because it's like a 2D definition. It does not go to the depth that I can feel it. But then I thought, and then it said holy means sacred. It's like, all right, so what does sacred mean? So I looked up sacred. Are you ready for this? Worthy of veneration. What? No, 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 no. Sacred is not that minimal. Sacred is such a beautiful energy. I don't even think I can describe it. Like Therese is saying, it means a wholeness. So that wholeness, that adds a little more depth, Therese. So I really appreciate that. But we want to think, how do we add words to describe those things? So I'm feeling a very holy sacredness this morning that cannot be defined in a dictionary. So I'll leave it at that. Okay. So remember, I've already talked about the religious teaching, but there's this type of internal dilemma that can happen, because you might want to connect with, a lot of people like angels. There was this big angel movement that happened over the years where everybody was connecting with the angels. And I'm laughing because I have angels standing around me and they're laughing, with me, in all their beauty, glory, sacredness, and holiness. But there was this big movement, and suddenly, everything's an angel, meaning we have this feeling that everything is goodness, everything is holy, everything is sacred. And I will say the angelic realm is a beautiful representation of holiness and sacredness. But there are many levels in the spirit world. There are multi-dimensions of the spirit world. So in this talk, I'm talking about spirit guides, good and bad spirit guides, and how you're going to be able to tell the difference. I'm going to just give you a little kind of universal spirit world difference. So when we went through this pandemic, and I found myself like, before the pandemic was over, and then it was like, is it really over? But what has been hidden will be revealed. That's what the spirit world kept telling me. Nancy, what has been hidden will be revealed. And I knew a little bit about what had been hidden, but I was shocked at how much is being revealed, and about corruption and greed and meanness and violence and I'm going to call it political posing. Can I kind of call it like that? Where you just don't know. Are they saying the truth because they want to get votes, or are they saying the truth because they genuinely have the heart, they want to be transparent? So let's move all that aside, because in the spirit world, it's the same. You can have really good people and you can have not so good people. And in the spirit world, you can have beautiful, really good spirits. And then you can have other spirits whose intentions are not so good. So being able to trust your own instincts is really valuable and really important. So let me just kind of talk about the differences between, if you're working with a spirit guide, how can you tell that it's a healthy spirit guide? But I'm going to tell you a little story first. So back in kind of 1998, and this is what really started my whole career of working with Indigenous peoples, studying with Indigenous peoples, and going to South Africa to train as a medicine woman with the Indigenous peoples of South Africa. But it was in 1998, and I had kind of begged and borrowed and went to the couch cushions to get enough money to go on this trip to Australia, New Zealand, and Hawaii to be able to work with the indigenous people there. And you can imagine, like, I was super excited. And this was like a month-long trip. I was going to be gone for a month, and my kids were still middle school, kind of high school level. So it was a big deal for me as a mother to leave as well. I had already had my out-of-body experience years before. I could see as a clairvoyant, but I felt really connected to the indigeneity of the world. So before my trip, I'm packing. It's a couple of weeks before my trip. I'm sitting in meditation, just running my energy. And then suddenly there was this beautiful spirit that came into the room. And because I'm clairvoyant, I said, oh, hello, who are you? Why are you here? And this spirit said, I have come to work with you. I've come to travel with you to work with the indigenous people. I'm a special guide that will help you to be able to understand the indigenous teachings and to really help you with this trip. And I was like, oh my goodness, how blessed am I that I can have a special guide that's going to come in and is going to travel with me on this trip and help me to learn to work with, the Aboriginal in Australia. And so every day, this kind of spirit guide would come in and kind of give me information, and I was grounding and I was getting ready to go on my trip. But then here I am arranging, for, the kids to do their thing and to pack and to, get ready to wrap things up at work. Well, I started getting this little nagging headache. And this headache, the closer I got to the trip, the closer I got to wheels up, the more intense the headache began. It just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And I'm not a headache kind of person. So by this time, I'm in psychic school, or have been in psychic school, the Church of Divine Man here in the Pacific Northwest. And so I went in and I said, wow, I've got like 5 days before I'm supposed to get on the plane, but I've had this nagging headache that's just exhausting me and it just won't go away. And so I asked if they could take a look at it for me at that psychic, clairvoyant, spiritual level. And so someone sat down in front of me, and she went to tune into me, and she said, "Oh, I see what the problem is with your headache, Nancy. You have a spirit inside of your aura that says it's a very, very special guide, that it's a special Aboriginal Australian guide, and that it's going to travel with you on your trip because it's going to help you to be special too." Well, you can imagine my shock. I was like, oh my gosh, I just got fooled by a very special spirit guide. And so fortunately, they had the tools to be able to move it out, get it on its way, and help me clear some of my ego energy, because I attracted it. Because why? I was going into a foreign land. I was going to be working with amazing shamans, and I wasn't special enough. So I was going to need to have a special guide to go with me. Now, excuse me. So that's the lesson. The lesson is, number one, a healthy spirit guide will never offer to help you. Write that down. A healthy spirit guide will never offer to help you. They will never come in and say, you need my help. Oh, it looks like you're sad. Looks like you need my help right now. Do you want me to help you? So what happens is, the reason why is because a healthy guide, spirit, angel, ascended master, they step way back. They give you a lot of growing room, because they know how incredible you already are as a spirit. And they know that you've got all this wisdom inside of you to tap into. And when you've got challenges in life, you can really grow in your inner strength by working and coping with those things. And they will not step in unless you ask them to. They will not step in unless you ask them to. So I want you to write that down too. That so imagine Jesus, Mary, the archangels, Buddha, Kuan Yin, Shiva in Hinduism, even animal guides. Wow, I'm losing my voice here. Goodness, I've talked a lot in the last couple of weeks, and it's showing up. So they'll stand back and they might say, please ask for help. Please ask for help. Please know that you're not alone. Please know that you don't need to do this by myself. Oh, I have to step back, but if they would just call on me, then I could come and help, but I can't. Kind of think about it in the wrestler ring, like your buddy can't help you until you can crawl over the wrestler's ring or the boxer's ring and tag them, and then they can come into the ring. It's very similar to that, to healthy guides that you're working with. So the main difference between unhealthy and healthy, and I will tell you, I could do a whole several months of teaching just on this subject, but we'll do this little quick introduction. So when you call upon Jesus or Mary or the archangels or even your ancestors and healing guides, financial guides, business guides, motherly guides that help you to be a better, help you with the kids. I mean, you can have all kinds of guides out there, but the difference is, if it's a healthy relationship, it will wait for you to call upon them. If it's unhealthy, they will offer help. Can I help you right now? So got lots of other tips, but that's a really good one for us to start with this month. And I want you to, this month, we're going to do a little bit in this meditation here. We're going to call in a healthy guide, and we're going to ask that healthy guide to say, if there's any unhealthy guides around us, could you help us to clear them out and to heal them? And then we're just going to do a little bit of healing around the windows and the doors of your house, because in the ancient days, they would do extra protection around the doors and windows because they did believe spirits could come in through the doors and windows. So, all right, let's do a meditation. Good morning, Judy. Hi, Yolanda from YouTube. So, let's get excited, because spiritual work and spiritual development should be fun. It shouldn't be frightening. Well, fear does help us be discerning and cautious, but not overly frightening. It can be a beautiful, sacred, holy experience. So go ahead and close your eyes and turn within. And just for a moment, see if you can connect with the beauty of your physical body. Just for a moment, see if you can have just a little adoration. Can you adore your human self the way that the spirit world adores your humanness? Just for a moment, infuse your body and your aura with adoration. All right, just tap into your higher self, your higher wise soul self, who has your best interest at heart. You can ask your higher self to help you to be discerning as well. But right now, allow this kind of holy sacredness. Allow your spirit to help bring in this holy sacredness to begin infusing down through your entire aura, your entire body. And while you're bathing in holy sacredness, you might see if there's a word that would help you to describe what that means. And then we're going to let that holy, sacred, vibrational frequency infuse your entire aura and then flow right down through the Earth's crust and infuse Mother Earth with that holy sacredness as well. Remind yourself of what today's date is and remind yourself of how old you are. That means coming present in the date, coming present in your age. And then allow a little more holy sacredness to infuse you, infuse your soul, infuse your body. Now we're going to take just a moment. And so, even if you've never done this before, call upon, I'm going to ask you to call upon a healthy guide, ascended master, angel, asking, I would love for your presence to be here in the room with me and assist me to clear out any unhealthy guides that may be around. And so you call on, ask for the presence of Mary, archangels Michael or Gabriel, Uriel, Ariel, Archangel Metatron. There's a lot of angels. You can call upon, I said Mother Mary, Jesus or Buddha, Kuan Yin, Shiva, Ganesh. They always come when you call. They always come when you call. I have never witnessed with my clairvoyance a situation where someone has called in that holy sacred presence and it didn't come. It always comes when you call. Now let's just sit for 1 full minute of quiet as you ask them, if I have any imbalances with the spirit realm, any out of balance relationships with maybe some unhealthy spirit guides, unhealthy spirits, could you please help to clear them out of my aura and out of my house? Now, this is an introduction to this technique, but after we get off this live call, you can go right back in and just ask the ascended ones, the holy sacred ones, to do a little bit more if you would like more, but thank them for the gift of being able to help you to clear your energy field. Now, imagine the room you're sitting in, that it has its own grounding cord. You can imagine that your house or your apartment or your tent that it's grounded to the center of the earth. It's almost like you're creating a stability to your house, and a grounded stability, plus kind of like a drain that's going to kind of wash out old energies that might attract trickster spirits, and then create a large ball of gold above your house or above the room that you're in to begin flowing down through the house, through the room, with the intent that it's going to cleanse any out of balance energies in your home. You don't have to name what it is, just any out of balance energies. Now imagine doing little extra splashes of golden, holy, sacred energy through your windows, adding that layer through the windows, through the doors, to just add that extra barrier, if you believe, like the ancient ones did, of the potential of spirits coming in through windows and doors. Let's just play with just bringing a little sacred, holy, golden, beautiful elixir of light, and to just flow through all the windows and doors of your home, with the intention that it just add a layer of barrier. Wow, that feels nice. It feels nice as all of you are bringing that through your homes. I can feel how it influences and uplifts our entire group that's listening in today. All right. Thank your spirit. Thank the Holy Spirit that came in to help you today. Thank your body. And whenever you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. Again, remembering that was just a simple teaching, a sampler teaching, and I am going to kind of gently and playfully challenge you every day for this month of October. Ideally, you want to be doing it on a pretty regular basis, but especially during this time when the veil is thin and there's several dimensions that are able to communicate with the human world at this time. Just do it in a beautiful, holy, sacred way, not a fearful way. And just keep doing that with your home over the next couple, 2-3 weeks, maybe all the way up until mid-November. So it's going to be quite helpful for you as well. And then as you were meditating, Spirit just wanted me to remind you, look at yourself as a human. How many times do you take over trying to help someone else when they haven't asked for that help? Often I will say, I would really love to support you, but you'll have to let me know how I can support you. Or if someone's like in a lot of grief and they don't know, or they're traumatized, they don't know how to ask for help, like they've been in a car accident or something. It's like, I'm going to offer some help if that's okay with you. So you want to get permission and let me know if it's too much. So you can look at how you move through the world as well. So just go ahead and let me know in the comments section what that experience was like for you, and how you feel now, and what it was like to work with the guides and having the energy cleared out of your house. So the only thing we've got going on here in our neck of the woods of Intuitive Mind, which is a really big deal, is the winter solstice event. So you can reserve your seat, that virtual event where I will do a guided meditation for everyone. And that will actually be on December 21st this year. We're actually going to do it on the virtual date, not on the real date, not on the previous weekend. So I look forward to working with you all. And next week, I think I'm talking about, should you cut energy cords? One of them is two really great topics. One, I think, is how do you move somebody else out of your energy field? And two, should you cut energy cords? So those are the next couple of topics that'll be coming up. There'll be a lot of fun too. So look forward to seeing you then. All right, take care, everyone. Have an awesome, awesome weekend.